हरि ओम। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Welcome all. I'm Vibha Chaitanya here to this webinar where we shall together watch Pujya Swamiji's video talk on the introduction of Ishāvāsya Upanishad. The talk is titled All Roads Leads to Om. Hari Om.
सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सहस्रशीर्षं देवं विश्वाक्षं विश्वशम्भुवं विश्वं नारायणं देवमक्षरं परमं पदं विश्वतः परमानित्यं विश्वं नारायणकं हरिं विश्वमेवेदं पुरुषस्तद्विश्वमुपजीवति पतिं विश्वस्यात्मेश्वरगं शाश्वतगं शिवमच्युतं नारायणं महाज्ञेयं विश्वात्मानं परायणं नारायणः परो ज्योतिरात्मा नारायणः परः नारायणः परब्रह्म तत्त्वं नारायणः परः नारायणः परो ध्याता ध्यानं नारायणः परः यच्च किञ्चित् जगत् सर्वं दृश्यते श्रूयतेऽपि वा अन्तर्बहिः तत्सर्वं व्याप्य नारायणः स्थितः अनन्तम् अव्ययं कविगं समुद्रेन्तं विश्वशम्भुवं पद्मकोशप्रतीकाशकं हृदयं चाप्यतोमुखम् अधो निश्याविदस्यान्ते नाभ्यामुपरि तिष्ठति ज्वालमालाखुलं भाति विश्वस्यायतनं महत् सन्ततगं शिलाभिस्तुल्लम्बत्याकोशसन्निभं तस्यान्ते सुशिरकं सूक्ष्मं तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं तस्य मध्ये महानग्निर्विश्वाचिर्विश्वतोमुखः सूर्यभोग्विभजन्तिष्ठन्नाहारमजरः कविः तीर्यभूतमदस्यायिरश्मयस्य सन्तता सन्तापयति गन्धेहमापादतलमस्तकः तस्य मध्ये वह्निः अनल्यो व्यवस्थितः नीलतो यदमध्यस्था विद्युल्लेखेव भास्वरा नीवारशूकवत्तन्वीपीताभा सत्यनुपमा तस्याः शिखायाः मध्ये परमात्मा व्यवस्थितः स ब्रह्म स शिवः स हरिसेन्द्रशोक्षर परमस्वराट् हृदकं सत्यं परं ब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
नीलारविन्दसुहृदा सदृशं प्रसादे तुल्यं तथा तेजसितो यजबान्धवेन ब्राह्म्यां स्थितौ तु पितरं Vatamoolavasam samsmarayantam tamanusmaramaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namah. It's wonderful that this evening all of us are here to apply our mind together to this sacred text, Ishāvāsya Upanishad, this sacred work found in the Yajur Veda. And imagine this has inspired generations after generations of spiritual seekers for not centuries but thousands of years on the Indian soil and abroad too. This evening, all of us could have done anything else. And in this world, there are things to do endlessly if you go for them. They will never end. More you do to set this world right, more remains. However, all of you decided to come and listen to the Vedanta. That is indeed very wonderful. Long back, when I began my studies of the Vedanta, somewhere in 1980, that is when I got exposed to these beautiful teachings. There was a young brahmachari in Chennai. Before I attended the classes of Gurudev Chinmayananji, who thundered the truths of the Gita and Upanishads, while his books had inspired me, but in person, it was a brahmachari whose classes I attended first. Within a few months, I ended up to be in the front rows of Swami Chinmayananji's Gita Jnana Yajna. But before that, a young brahmachari was holding classes in Chennai every Sunday. I went there. I was a student of a college at that time there. And he had a blackboard and he showed a circle. And he explained that this is the circle of karma. And he said, every karma has its phala, result. Every action has its result. But even as you enjoy the result of one action, you will do some more action. It's not possible for a common man or a lady to go through life without some more actions. So, action, result of action, why then you have done another action, yet another result, yet another action, and he showed that is how it is a circle. This circle, like any circle, has no beginning, no end. And imagine, there was a youth class, in fact, every Sunday he would explain the principles of the Vedanta to youngsters. And I was about 22 years old at that time. And we young people, boys and girls, were listening. Where is this brahmachari leading us? He said, the circle never ends. No beginning, no end. Karma, karma phala. Or you call it, he said, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. You know, Bhaja Govindam. Punarapi janani jatare shayanam. Again born in the mother's womb. So this samsara is endless. So we appreciated that. And we were looking into his eyes. Will he show us a way out? And suddenly he took a duster or an eraser, and wiped off the whole circle. There was no circle on the blackboard. He said, just a moment ago I said this circle has no beginning or no end. But what happened to the circle now? And we young fellows said, sir, you erased it. He said, similarly, karma and karma phala apparently will never come to an end, but it's not end, but there is a way to transcend. You cannot end the cycle, you cannot end the circle, no beginning, no end. But you can transcend the circle of karma and karma phala, and that is through the Vedanta, he said. Vedanta helps you go to a different level. So I say that we have chosen to apply our mind to the Vedanta teachings this evening, for it is continued application to a higher insight that can make a real difference to our life. Otherwise, we would be going in circles. We will not be reaching anywhere. Otherwise, a whole lot of what we call improvement, what we call betterment, ends up as nothing much, just cosmetic change. And what is worse, even as you and I imagine that we are getting somewhere, reaching somewhere, okay, even as we pat ourselves on our backs, the cruel laws of nature do not spare us. Slowly we get older, our faculties become weaker, energies fail, memory fails, and what is even worse, varieties of memories of the past rise, causing more worries, more anxieties, and so on. Many a time, a man says, how nice childhood used to be. Memories of childhood, those days were so good. Now I am nowhere. Should it be like that? It would be like that only if we do not go for a higher insight. The other day, a lady in Goa asked me very earnestly, very passionately, all this is very good, she said, after hearing a class on Viveka Chudamani, which I gave informally to a small group. She said, this is all good, but my mind doesn't stop. Mind is a machine that seems to be running without stop. How can thoughts come to an end? How can thinking stop at all? Was her question. She herself was thinking, and she herself was tired of thinking. Nobody else comes and runs her machine. Does somebody else come and switch on your mind? Does somebody else come and fuel your mind? It is you only, you yourself. You cannot keep still. You think of something more, and yet another, so on and so forth, and get exhausted. To bring this machine, which is moving, which is in constant motion, to an end, again, the medicine, the way is a higher understanding. The mind goes on running, leaving you tired and exhausted, because it is fueled by a certain understanding which the Vedanta would call mere misunderstanding. The Vedanta would say, you have a basic misunderstanding about life, about yourself, and this basic misunderstanding spreads everywhere. It doesn't spare any field, any part of your life. Everywhere, the basic lack of self-knowledge leaves its imprint, and that is how life seems to be a very long journey, apparently not ending at all. What is the way out? If it is misunderstanding that is causing all this misery, then once more, you need to have right understanding. And the Upanishads are all about giving to us right understanding. Upanishads are the means to right knowledge, right wisdom. Sri Shankaracharya was very fond of this word, Samyak Darshana, right seeing. A good old example every one of us here perhaps knows. You don't see rightly, you think there is a snake over there and you are afraid. You see rightly and you find it is only a rope. In discovering the rope and finding that there is no snake, your fear, all your sweating, all your anxiety, what will now happen, all go away. So, for this mind to find some rest, for this thought machine to find some break, what we need once more is we need to apply ourselves to the means of right knowledge. Therefore, Vedanta is to be studied. In this Ishāvāsya, you will find that the rishis of this particular Upanishad present right in the beginning the highest understanding. It is so unique, therefore. It doesn't begin with somebody asking a question and the teacher answering with the prolonged or a bit detailed introduction and so on. Nothing of that sort. Ishāvāsya begins with the liberating vision. Therefore, we have titled these lectures the liberating vision, the liberating drishti, and it's made available to us right away in the first mantra. Therefore, I have read that Mahatma Gandhi went to the extent of saying, if all scriptures of Hinduism were for some reason, by some accident, burned, turned to ashes, and just Ishāvāsya Upanishad with its 18 mantras remains, that is good enough. Sanatana Dharma would be revived. And he did not stop there. He took a pause and Gandhiji continued to say that even among the 18 mantras, suppose all the mantras were to be lost by some accident or whatever, but the first two mantras were to remain, that is good enough. And if I remember right, he would finally say, if the first mantra remains, that is good enough. So to the first mantra, where Ishāvāsyam are the first two words. Isha, first word, Vasyam, second word. Ishāvāsyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bunjitah Mahagradaha kasyasvidhanam is just one mantra. And what made Mahatma Gandhi say that if just this one mantra were to remain, that is good enough for the revival of a whole body of wisdom constituting Sanatana Dharma. We shall soon see that yes, the first mantra gives the liberating vision, and rest of it is, if somebody says, I'm not getting it, I'm not able to grasp this, or it appeals to me, but I'm not yet ready for it. Give me some steps, give me some supports, give me some props, or give me some other material so that I may prepare my mind for this beautiful insight, which I respect, but alas, and so on. Suppose somebody were to ask for something to prop up, then yes, the second mantra and third up to the 18th are available. The first mantra we shall attempt this very first evening of the discourse series gives to us something very sublime. In a way, yes, it's rather not in our reach, but in another way, it's not anything very far also. In fact, the most beautiful things in our life are like that. They are almost within our reach, but we just slip from them. Why big philosophical words? A simple word like pure love. Who is not capable of pure love? Pure love is what everybody wants in every breath of theirs. We want to love, we want to be loved. Pure love is the most desired commodity or most desired thing in life. However, some if or some but comes in between, and none of us is able to live in a state of pure love. Our love becomes conditional. Our relationships have some terms and conditions, and so many questions. Leave alone loving the whole world in a pure way. We cannot claim to love even one person in the world on this earth purely. Because this mind, this flow of thoughts in us, every moment gets affected by the shadow of what I called a while ago the basic misunderstanding, the basic fear, me, my, what will happen to my interests, where will I be? Time and again we hear of people who are miserable. We too are miserable, but we hear of people or we meet people who are 100 times more miserable. Many of us, though we are miserable, are able to put up a smile, a plastic smile at least. Many of us, at least on occasions, when things are going good, in the company of friends, or at such a place like this beautiful hall, where everybody has come to do some satsanga, we feel good. We are not only putting up a smile, we experience some peace, but perhaps I would not be wrong if I say, even here, hardly anyone is totally free of worries or anxieties. If not in the hall, as soon as we step out of the hall, both the audience and the speaker start worrying about tomorrow or day after. All this is okay. But what about this problem and so on? So yes, hardly anyone is free of worries, but I was touching upon, I was trying to talk about some people who are visibly agitated. Now just check, when people are agitated, to what extent is their agitation connected to something of the present moment, and to what extent is it related to the future or the past? 999 out of 1000 occasions, people are anxious, miserable, agitated over either the unborn future or the dead past. What happened and is gone, over, never to come back, agitates them. Why did this happen? And why did it happen of all people to me? Why not to the neighbor? Why at such a time? So something that happened that already is bygone, or they are very agitated about something yet to come, yet to happen. Sometimes People even fight over something that is to happen years later. In a humorous story that Swami Akhandanandaji of Vrindavan narrates in one of his discourses, perhaps it would be apt to share with you. A man and his wife were fighting bitterly, arguing and yelling at each other at night, 1 o'clock. And neighbors in these days, apartment complexes, neighbors of nearby apartments finally could not bear this noise at midnight. They came and knocked at the door and said, "What's happening?" They said, "Oh, sorry if we disturbed you. It is just our private issue." "Whatever it is, can we help? What is the matter?" The husband says, "I want my son to become a doctor," and she doesn't agree. And the wife said, "Yes, I want my son to become engineer," and this husband of mine doesn't agree. Then the neighbors asked, "But what does the son want to become? Did you ask him?" They said, "He is not born yet." So they are fighting over something, The child is not born yet. When he will have a child, when he grows up, and when he will get a little mustache, and when he is ready to go to college, will he become an engineer or doctor? What? On that. So this may be a little exaggerated story, though it can happen. The world is full of possibilities. It can very much happen, though it may appear a bit exaggerated. The nature of the human mind is like that, thinking of the unborn future and getting agitated. Therefore, the Upanishads and a whole lot of wise teachers have asked us to pay attention to the present, not just what is around us, to pay attention to our thoughts as they occur, as they arise, to pay attention to whatever there is. Suppose at a given moment you are bored, pay attention to that boredom and understand what it is all about. I will try to throw more light on this slowly today and in the days to come. But I would like to make one advance statement about this. Paying attention is totally different from thinking. There is the field of thought, there is the domain of thinking, and to notice our thoughts, to see this thought in its entire structure, to see, is not same as having one more thought. Think about it. Thinking and seeing a thought, are they different? Don't agree with me just like that, or don't just note it down. Okay, thinking and seeing are different. I will think about it next Sunday. Don't keep it as, for cold storage, to be reflected upon when I have a more available mind. Right now, I am agitated. We all tend to do this. Keep, things for attending to later. Instead, it's not a big deal really. I'm not asking you to solve some complex mathematical equation, mathematical problem. It's in you. It's right in you. That is, thinking goes on in you. You think, and seeing also is in you. Like if you are amused by something, maybe by this lecture, your mind is in a state of amusement. Your mind is amused. And then you are aware of this state. maybe dimly aware, or maybe very much aware, whatever you are aware. Being aware is, in Sanskrit we call it Vilakshana. Vilakshana means it stands apart. It has a category of its own. Thoughts come in many varieties. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, noble thoughts, thoughts loaded with emotions, or dull thoughts lacking in emotions, dry thoughts. So thoughts and emotions are one domain, one whole field. And here is seeing. In the Vedanta, in many texts, many works, the example of the light is given. For example, in a work by Swami Vidyaranya called Panchadashi, there is a whole chapter titled Nataka Deepa. There is a stage where a play is played, actors come, dancers come, comedians come, and when some dance or some music is going on, there are singers, instrumentalists, and so on. A lot of things are going on the stage. And there are the audience, members of the audience, the spectators. And this Nataka Deepa Prakarana, a certain chapter in Panchadashi, a work having 15 chapters. Therefore, it's called Panchadashi. Panchadasha means 15. So, in that chapter, it is said, the lamp is not the hero, is not the heroine, it's not the villain. The lamp is not the musician. The lamp is not the dancer. The lamp is not the audience. The lamp is not the instruments that the musicians are playing. It is Vilakshana. The lamp, and there again the light of the lamp. The light of the lamp is different from all the things that this light illumines. The illumined and the light that illumines are different. Giving this example, the Vedanta scripture helps us to see that we too have in us a light, the light of awareness, the light of watching, the ability to witness, the ability to be aware. Alas, the problem is we hardly are stationed in that light of awareness. We are stationed, we are positioned, we are mounted on the horse called thought. I don't know whether I should call it horse or donkey. Maybe sometimes it is a horse when we achieve a lot of things using the mind, and some other times it is a donkey when we do idiotic things. Sometimes it is a monkey too. In other words, thought is of varieties of nature. The light that illumines thoughts is Vilakshana. It stands on its own. We are not stationed there. We are carried away by thoughts. And what are thoughts? Thoughts are, we take them to be very genuine, we take them to be real, we take them for their face value. But alas, actually thoughts are results of so many forms of conditionings, so many influences. We have all been brainwashed by the society. And I should agree, the society is no other than we ourselves. We build the society, then the society brainwashes us, conditions us. Thoughts are not so pure or so objective or so simple as we imagine. Rather, our thoughts are the products of very many pushes and pulls. Some old hurt or some old pride, some pleasure we enjoyed in the past, or some pain that we suffered again in the past, colors our thoughts. We do not think with a truly unbiased mind. Our mind has its own bias. Therefore, we are coming closer to the gist of the Shanti mantra as well as the first mantra of the Ishāvāsya Upanishad, because thoughts which we are riding all the time have been highly conditioned, have been highly colored. We are in for a problem. It is thoughts that are colored which make us see life again and again erroneously. Suppose we were to wear green glasses, would not everything look green? If we were to wear red glasses, everything would look red. If I were to wear blue glasses, I would wonder for a moment, why are people wearing blue dress today? All of them are in blue dress. Then I take out my blue glasses, then I say, oh no, it was the color of the glasses that made me think all are wearing blue glasses, right? So our thoughts have their own conditioning which prevent us from seeing rightly. Once in a while, to have some colored glasses may be good also. For that matter, your cooling glasses. When you are walking in hot sun, when the sun is piercing, you knowingly wear the dark glasses so the strain is less. The sun doesn't come across as harsh. On that I had read a little story. A farmer or a villager was taking his cows for grazing. He had 8 or 10 cows. All cows would eat any grass that was available. But one of the cows, very strange indeed, was very particular on the grass being very, very green. This cow would eat only green grass. Color discrimination, would you call it? This particular cow would eat only green grass. Some grass which in color was not green was nutritious, would have been good for the cow. But this particular cow wants the grass to look green. Otherwise, it would not go near also. And the villager was, or the cow herd was really worried. Then a friend of his solves the problem. That particular cow is given some green glasses. Imagine a cow with glasses. So this cow with green glasses goes, and next day onwards, no difficulty. The cow eats pretty much all the grass that was made available. So the villager. So sometimes, yes, knowingly a certain coloring may be helpful, but otherwise it is not. The Ishāvāsya Upanishad, of which a little booklet has been given to you, has 18 mantras, and right away this evening, against the backdrop of some introductory comments I have made, let's see how these mantras give to us an entirely different vision, removing the undesirable color in the glasses that we are wearing, the glasses being no different from our thoughts, our mind. These mantras are meant to cleanse our mind, to purify our thoughts. Let's read the Shanti mantra. More often you may have heard this Purnamadaha at the end of functions, but actually this Shanti mantra can be chanted anywhere, at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. Somehow, in certain organizations or in certain ashrams, they made it a practice to chant this at the end of functions, ceremonies, and so on. So there is no need really to associate this with end of a program only. In this Upanishad, it comes as the beginning invocation. Most of you, if not all, know this mantra. However, softly repeat after me. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Well known.
Hari Om friends, today we shall not have active question answer session, but we welcome the questions on email, via email. Swamiji will either answer it via email or he may answer it during our next webinar session. Hari Om.